Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the FCS PREP Podcast, where I am your host, Dr. Keith Fairclough. And guys, listen, we're jumping right into it today. We're going to continue on this journey talking about unconditional love and relationships. Guys, please stay tuned. We got so much info, so much knowledge, so much stuff that's going to help improve your relationships if you're in one. And if you're thinking about getting one, it's going to set you up in the best way possible so you can find the best person possible and have the best relationship possible. Because remember, the whole purpose of FCS is to improve the world by improving you. And guess what? This world is built up of individuals that when they come together, they have a relationship. That relationship creates children. Those children then go out and affect the community. If we have a healthy relationships, we have a healthy community, then we'll have healthy cities and healthy neighborhoods and healthy nation and all that. So we're out here trying to save the world, and we're doing it one person at a time through FCS. And again, I love you all. Thank you all for being here. So without further ado, well, actually, before I say that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. Someone's going to need this. Someone's going to need this information, and it just might change someone's life. Quick story. I'm going to get on a soapbox, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. I know it's going to jump into it, but I was at a meeting last night, and the person who was talking at the meeting was saying that it was a conversation, one conversation. Now, they have had conversations in the past about what they're going to do with their life and where they're going to go and things like that. They've had conversations in the past, but this one last conversation, like the straw that broke the camel's back, one last conversation helped to catapult him to do what he was supposed to do. You never know. Maybe you've sent 100 videos to this person. Maybe you sent 1,000 videos to this person. Maybe you've talked to him 100 times. Maybe everyone's talked to him, but maybe this video might be the thing to kind of tip the scales and get them on the right path. So I just say all that to say, share this video, like, comment, subscribe for more content. Unconditional love in relationships. Man, last time we talked about why it's critical to be in relationships. Now we're going to talk about the different aspects of it. And that's why it's going to be a lot. So I'm breaking it up into 2 podcasts because I am trying to keep them short, to be mindful of, your time. Just it can be difficult to sit through a long podcast. I'll try to be as entertaining as possible. Some nice stories and whatnot, and passion and all that fun stuff. Unconditional love is foundational to every relationship. You already know this. We talked about it before. We've talked about it in many podcasts, all right? But it's foundational in every relationship. But here's the thing about it. Unconditional love cannot be affected by our feelings and our circumstances. If it is, then by definition, it is not unconditional love. Now, this does not mean that we don't feel hurt at times, right? This does not mean that we're all super open at times. What it does mean is that I'm still going to love you unconditionally. I might need time to process through my feelings and emotions, and that's the other part of it, right? We need maturity within ourselves to be able to control our emotions, control our responses, process through them so that we can help other people, so that we can help our significant others, so that we can give them that unconditional love. It's really important just to remember that, right? What unconditional love is, and that it does not change based on our circumstance, and it does not change on our feelings, and that we have to have that maturity within ourselves to process through our emotions that we're feeling so we can still operate and give our significant other that unconditional love. The next thing about unconditional love is that it allows people to be their full, authentic self, right? So no faking the funk. Unconditional love allows you to be your full, authentic self. Honestly, it really should be there from the very, very beginning, right? We shouldn't, when we go out on these dates, and I know we're talking about relationships or whatnot, and those who might already be in them, but even from the very beginning, from the onset, right? We should be able to be our full, authentic self, right? And the reason why is because it gives the other person an opportunity to make an educated decision on whether they want to continue to spend time with you and make it work. But if we go into these relationships, if we go into these dating situations, if we meet up with people and we're faking the funk, and then usually people say, oh, well, people can only fake the funk for so long before it falls off. I think people are getting better at it now. It's like people will be together for like 6 months, over to a year. And it's like, I didn't even see any of that. I can't believe they hid that so well. And sometimes it's like, man, they're just really good at it. And then sometimes we're just blind to it. But that's another topic for another time. But ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that we need to be our full, authentic selves, right? And if that doesn't work, so for instance, for me, I love anime. I love video games. I like working out. I like my car, not cars, but I like my car. I like nerdcore rap. I like lots of different things. I'm Christian and things like, right? It might check some boxes, it might not check others. And I'm just using myself as an example. I am married. I'm not this isn't a, ad for anything or anybody to come and message me or whatnot, but I'm just saying, use myself as an example. If I were to go out on a date and I was being my full authentic self, I came in my shirt and everything like that, and we sat down, we ate, we talked, it was good conversation, but maybe I just wasn't her cup of tea. She's like, nah, I'm not really that's not kind of my cup of tea. That's not my preference. That's okay. And maybe it might hurt, like, dang, I got rejected. But granted, there's ways to do it, right? If she's like making fun of me and things like that, that wouldn't fly for me. But if we do it the right way, it's like, no, everyone has their preference. Everyone has their cup of tea. If it doesn't work, it's okay, right? But at least you're able to make an educated decision from the beginning, because now you see exactly who I am. You see my heart, you see my mind, you see how I am, you see how I talk, you see what I look like, you see all that. Now you can make an educated decision on whether or not you want to continue. And so it's real important, especially in a relationship. No, people should not be forcing other people to change who they are in their core just to be with them. If you can't love someone, and I'm not talking about if someone has bad habits or bad communication or things like that need to change. I'm not talking about stuff like that, right? If there's bad habits or bad communication or bad mindsets and things like that need to change, that's not the core of who you are. But that stuff can change. But I'm talking about again, I use myself as an example. If I was on a date, again, this is not a plug for me or anything like that. I am married, not looking for anybody. But if I was on a date and she is like, well, if you want to be with me, you got to change out your anime shirts. You can't be playing games and you can't be doing this and you can't be doing that and you're not going to be in church all day and that's a no-go. That's a no-go. It ain't going to fly, right? I'm not changing who I am just to be with you. Like, you either take me as I am or kick rocks. It's okay. And vice versa, right? I shouldn't be trying to get her to change to be with me. Because here's the thing, there might be some other boxes that we're checking that are really good. Like, for instance, she might be a baddie, or she might look at me and be like, dang, yeah, he's fit, he looks good, whatever. Oh, I really want that. But there's so much more to it than that. And we should not compromise our standards or our beliefs or anything like that, just to get someone or try to force someone to change. So really, really important. I know I'm driving this point home, but it's really, really important, guys, for us to be ourselves, our full authentic selves from the beginning. And unconditional love allows for that. It gives us a space to do that, right? So next thing, unconditional love seeks the best interest of our significant other. I cannot stress this point enough either. Really, really important. What this means is you're always looking out for the best interest of your significant other. Even if you don't feel it at the time, even if you guys got into an argument or whatever, you haven't processed through whatever's going on, you still want the best for them. You're still going to tell them what they need to wear on that job interview. You're still going to tell them that they need to work on that idea. You're still going to tell them, oh, you forgot this. You're still going to bring that thing to them. You're still going to pack the lunch and make the dinner. You're still going to hold their hand. You're still going to do all these things. You're still going to do it because you're looking out for the best interest of your partner, of your significant other. Unconditional love allows for that because it says, even though I'm feeling this right here, I still want what's best for you. I don't want you to fall. I don't want you to fail. I don't want to see you stumble. I get no joy in seeing you in pain. That's what unconditional love does. It looks out and seeks the best interest of our significant other. Very, very important. And I'll say this, if for whatever reason you get into a situation where you're like, man, I don't want to do it for him. I don't like him. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to withhold sex, or I'm going to withhold money. I'm going to withhold this or withhold that or whatever. And trust me, I've been there before too, where I'm like, man, I ain't doing nothing for her. Forget that. I'm going to stop that, But just deep down, I'm like, I can't. I got to make her coffee. I'm still going to wash her clothes. I'm still going to make sure she has what she needs. I'm still going to make sure her stuff's put up. I'm still going to make sure that even if we're not talking, I'm still going to do it. Why? Because I'm looking out for her best interest at all times. That's what real unconditional love is. So if you find yourself in a spot where you're like, man, I ain't doing that for him, you try to withhold stuff and things like that and play little games, it's a strong possibility you don't really love that person like you say you do. And that might be more conditional love, and that might be a situation you need to see yourself either fix or see yourself out of, and maybe make it amicable, but it's just not a good look, right? It's not a good look. We should always be seeking for the best interest of others, and everybody deserves a partner who is going to look out for their best interest even when they can't see it for themselves, right? Next thing, unconditional love sets, keyword, healthy boundaries. Healthy, keyword, healthy boundaries for the relationship. Very, very, very important. I know all this is really important. I keep saying it over and over again. I'll probably say it more and more, but you gotta set boundaries in your relationship that gotta be healthy. And I'm gonna talk about just one. There's others, and I probably need to do a whole podcast on this. One of the ones we talk about is exclusivity. All right, exclusivity. Very, very important. What that means is I'm not talking to nobody else. I'm not sharing information with anybody else. I'm not sharing emotions with anybody else. I'm not doing any of that, right? I don't have all these girls that I'm talking to, if I'm a guy, and if I don't have these guys I'm talking to if I'm a girl, and I don't have, I'm not doing that, right? I'm not spending all this extra time with the opposite sex. I'm not sharing all of our family business and all of our relationship business with my friends or with my family or with anything like that. I'm not allowing the kids to dictate all that. No. You got to set up that boundary, that wall. And then listen, this is so important, right? Because a lot of times people think, a wall is designed to keep people out. And you think, a wall is a wall. It does the same thing either way. And it's just semantics. No, there is a difference. There's a purpose and the meaning of having that wall. If I set up a wall and a fence and I lock my doors, it's not because I hate the people outside. It's because I love the people inside. I love my wife. I love my kids. I want to keep them safe. So I set up these boundaries to keep them safe. That's why I do it. That's why I set up a boundary for me and my wife. That's why I don't share my information about me and my wife with everybody else, right? Why? Because I love my wife and I want to protect her. And what I never want to do is go there and talk to somebody else and run my mouth. Oh, she's this and that and whatever and ever. And then me and her work it out. Now our business in the street. For what? There's no need for that. Set up those healthy boundaries. Do not let anybody in. You have to set up those boundaries. It's the most precious relationship you're ever going to have. So you need to protect it. They don't keep precious things just out and about willy-nilly. Think about that. They don't. There's a reason why really, really rich people don't live in regular neighborhoods. They don't live in the hood. They live in some far off hill with that's got a billion gates and all the security and stuff like that. Why? Because they probably have really precious, expensive things there that they don't want anyone to get to. It's really, really, really important to set up those boundaries, right? And I mentioned exclusivity, but there are plenty of others that you can set up that are healthy for your relationship because it protects you both. It protects the relationship, which is so precious. So please remember, unconditional love sets up healthy boundaries. And the last one for today, I'm going to have some other ones for the next time, is unconditional love forgives and has grace and mercy. This is really big. This is probably the biggest one. I know I keep saying that as I'm building up. It's one of the it's probably one of the biggest ones or the biggest one. And the reason why is because there's many times in a relationship, it becomes really difficult for us to take personal responsibility. And the reason why is because we feel that if we mess up, that it means we are bad people. We are a bad person. So we have to defend ourselves because we don't want to believe that we are bad people. And it's a mind game thing, right? Because we are not our behaviors. So, but in our mind, if we feel we mess up, we hurt somebody, then we want to try to defend ourselves because not because we don't love the other person, but because we're just trying to defend ourselves and keep ourselves safe because we don't want to be rejected. We don't want to be tossed aside. We don't want to be abandoned, which has happened to us so many times with so many people when we did own up to it and we were treated bad as a result. And this unfortunately carries into our relationship, but unconditional love creates the space that we need to receive that forgiveness because it says, hey, yeah, I'm hurting. I'm express to you how I feel and how it hurt me. But that doesn't mean I hate you. I just want to express to you what happened. So when you feel safe in that time, when you feel safe, like, oh man, I didn't mean to hurt him, right? Because you stop thinking about yourself. When you're not defensive, you don't have to think about yourself. You can start thinking about the other person. Oh man, I didn't know how much they were hurt. Oh man, I didn't know I didn't want to hurt. I don't want to hurt them. I love her. I love him. I don't want to hurt them. That was never my intention, but how can I make it better? How can I help you? How can I be there for you? Unconditional love creates that space where that can happen, where someone feels safe to take personal responsibility, where they're not going to be dragged through the mud, where they're not going to be lectured, where they're not going to be beat over the head. Because a lot of people, again, we've experienced that from our parents, from our friends, from society, from teachers, where we take our ownership for things and we get beat up for it. We should never do that in our relationships. We need to make sure that the love we show each other is pure, that it's great, it's holy, it's phenomenal, right? So that people feel safe to open up and say, hey, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I really didn't mean to hurt you. please forgive me. Really, really important. Unconditional love creates that space. It forgives. It gives grace and gives mercy. Now I'm gonna hop on. Now I'm switching gears because there's a caveat to this. This unconditional love that gives forgiveness and grace and mercy is not a license to mess up. It is not a license to mess up, right? Because someone who truly is sorry for what they've done and they're really repentant about what they've done, they're going to change their behavior. Repentance is about turning away from what you did and doing something different. That's what repentance is. Now, however, if you have some people out there that are, they want to take advantage of you, right? They want to take advantage of your kindness, advantage of your love, then guess what? That's wrong. That's wicked. People who want to, I'm going to cheat and just keep coming back because they're going to keep taking me back. I'm going to keep dogging them out. I'm going to keep calling them out of their name. I'm going to keep abusing them and hurting them and doing all these things. And no big deal. I don't got to change because they're just going to take me back and forgive me. That's wicked. That's wrong. That's evil. And if that's you, you don't need to leave that relationship. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going to keep it a buck. You need to leave the relationship. That person doesn't deserve that. The person giving you grace and forgiveness and mercy, they're giving you love when you're not receiving it anywhere in the world and you're abusing it. You don't need to be in that relationship. Just stop that. If for no other reason, just this person doesn't deserve this. They don't deserve me to dog them out like that. Let me just leave. And for those who are Christian and you don't believe in divorce, it's a whole nother topic for another time. But just leave the person. Just leave, right? Stop dogging them out. Stop dragging them through the mud. For one, you're making it difficult for everybody else that's going to come behind you. So please just leave. And again, if that person that's forgiven or whatnot, you should have boundaries as well. Again, forgiveness and mercy and grace is not a license for someone to continually mess up. It's not. It gives you the space to get it right. So if someone's telling you what you're doing is affecting them, work on getting that right. All right, guys. Hey, listen, that's it for today. All right, what was that 4 tips, 5 tips, something like that? We have a few more coming, right? So we're not done yet. We're not done with showing you what unconditional love looks like in relationships. We're not done yet. We have a few more to go. Then we're going to get into the details, the nitty-gritty, and how to do things. So please stay tuned, all right? Listen, add this stuff in your relationship or check your relationship to make sure that this unconditional love is there, right? Make sure it's there. And if it's not and the relationship is worth it, then work on making sure it is there. Work on creating that safe space. Work on making it so that you both can be yourselves in that relationship. Work on looking at each other's best interests. Set up those boundaries. Forgive and give grace and mercy, right? Be mature. Work on your maturity to process your emotions so you can continue to give that unconditional love to your significant other. Add these things in. This is some good stuff. And I'm not just talking about from a biased point of view. It is really good stuff that will be great for your relationship. All right, guys, I love you. Y'all take care. Have a great, awesome, and blessed day. Again, if you need any help, hit me up. There's links all over the place, right? All over the place. Just click them, book a consultation, email me, reach out to me, DM me, whatever you need to do. And listen, we'll link up, we'll get together, and we'll help improve the world by improving you, by giving you real change right now. I love you all. Y'all take care. Be blessed.